And the students, I am Kanchan, your English teacher, and this time I have taken the chapter in the Kingdom of Fools from the book Moments. So let's discuss about the writer and about the characters also. So in the Kingdom of Fools was written by A.K. Ramanujan and also the characters are the king, the foolish king, and you can say foolish ruler, and the next one is the minister and the guru and the disciple. So here let's begin. Before I explain you just about the character, in the Kingdom of Fools is a story by A.K. Ramanujan, and the story highlights the fact that in a Kingdom of Fools, people's lives can be in danger, as the king and his ministers were brainless and didn't do things in a normal manner. If a place where everything in a reverse and justice is not given, how can a person survive? So in this story, I'm telling you now. It is believed that fools are so dangerous that only very wise people can manage them. Who are the fools in this story? What happens to them? We will discuss about. So in the Kingdom of Fools, both the king and ministers were idiots, means they were fools. They didn't want to run things like other kings did, and so they decided to change night into day and day into night. So they ordered that every one should be awake at night till their fields and run their businesses after dark, and go to bed as soon as the sun came up. Means they were reversing the things. So anyone who disobeyed would be punished with death, and the people did as they were told for fear of death. So they were doing as their king was ordering, and the king and the minister were delighted at the success of their project. One day a guru and his disciple arrived in the city. It was a beautiful city and it was broad daylight, but there was no one about because they all were sleeping as people sleep in the night. So all were sleeping in the during daytime. So everyone was asleep. Not a mouse stirring, means even a mouse was not stirring. So even the cattle had been taught to sleep by day. Even cattle were also they were sleeping in the day. So the two strangers were amazed, means surprised by what they saw around them, and wandered around town till evening, means they were surprised what was going on. And when suddenly the whole town woke up and went about its nightly business, and when it was night time they started their work. So the two men were hungry, means the guru and his disciple, they were hungry, and now that the shops were open, so they went to buy some groceries. To their astonishment, they found that everything cost the same. A single dudu means a single coin, means whether they bought a measure of rice और बंच में सारी चीज़ें जो है वन सिंगल टू डू में मिल रही थी. मीन्स everything was available at a same price. So the guru and his disciple were delighted, means they were surprised, they were delighted also, and they were thinking that what type of this city or town is. And when they had cooked and eaten, the guru realized that this kingdom of fools, and it would not be good idea for them to stay there. So guru decided, and he thought कि this type of place is not to live there, because this kingdom is kingdom of fools. ये मूर्खों का नगर है और यहाँ पर रहना बहुत ही अनसेफ है. So this is no place for us, let's go. So गुरु ने अपने डिस्पल से कहा कि चलो हम यहाँ से चलते हैं, this place is not for us. But the disciple didn't want to leave the place. Everything was cheap here, and all he wanted was good cheap food, because everything was available at one dudu. So the Dispel was fond of eating much things, many things. वो बहुत चीज़ें खाने का शौकीन था, इसलिए उसने गुरु की बात को नहीं माना. एंड फिर से गुरु ने उसको बताया कि दे आर ऑल फूल्स एंड दिस वुड नॉट लास्ट वेरी लॉन्ग, और बहुत ज़्यादा दिन तक नहीं चलेगा. एंड यू कांट टेल what they will suppose to do you next. And he also explained that this kingdom is kingdom of fools. We don't know what they can do to the next time. And but this Dispel would not listen to the guru's wisdom. What he wanted to stay, because Dispel was a type of having he had habit of or hobby of eating a lot, so he was greedy type of person. So the guru finally gave up and said, do you do what you want. उसने कहा ठीक है, तुम जो करते हो करो, आई एम गोइंग, एंड लेफ्ट द प्लेस. द Dispel stayed on and ate his fill every day, bananas and ghee and rice and wheat, and grew fat like a straight side sacred bull, or he was just like bull, as fat as bull. One bright day a thief broke into a rich merchant's house. So there was robbery in a rich merchant's house, and he had made a hole in the wall and sneaked in. Sneaked means he just entered into his house stealthily. उसने सेंध लगाया, and as he was carrying out his loot, the wall of the old house collapsed, means fallen down on his head, and he was died on the spot. और वो जो thief था वो वहीं पर मर गया. His brother, thief का जो brother था, ran to the kingdom and complained, Your Highness, when my brother was pursuing his ancient trade means his robbery as occupation, and a wall fell on him and killed him. This merchant is to blame. एंड उसने उसी मर्चेंट को ब्लेम किया, हुज वॉल वॉज दैट, जिसकी घर की दीवार थी. सो ही शुड हैव बिल्ट अ गुड स्ट्रॉन्ग वॉल, और उसने सपोर्ट में क्या कहा कि उसको तो मजबूत वॉल बनानी चाहिए थी. सो दिस मर्चेंट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर माई ब्रदर्स डेथ. सो यू मस्ट पनिश द रॉन्ग doer and wrongdoer का मतलब जो who had done wrong, and compensate the family for this justice. And he was asking the justice because he knew well कि his king was fool, so he was asking the justice. And the king said, justice will be done, don't worry, and at once summoned the owner of the हाउस, और उसने हाउस के ऑनर को बुलाया. देन व्हेन द मर्चेंट अराइव्ड द किंग क्वेश्चनड हिम, व्हाट्स योर नेम, सच एंड सच, योर हाइनेस, एंड ही एक्सप्लेन्ड हिज नेम. वर यू एट होम व्हेन द डेड मैन बर्गल्ड योर हाउस. तो उसने पूछा कि व्हेन ही वाज बर्गलिंग योर हाउस, ही वाज रॉबिंग योर हाउस, यू वर देयर. So yes my lord, he broke in and the wall was weak. And he explained that when he entered into the house through the wall and through the hole in the wall and he had made, the wall was weak and it had fallen down, it fell on him. So उसने बताया कि वॉल बहुत कमज़ोर थी, इस वजह से गिर गई. द accused pleads guilty, योर वॉल किल्ड दिस मैन्स. और तब राजा ने कहा कि तुम्हारी वॉल जो है वो उसने गिरा दिया है. यू हैव मर्डर्ड ए मैन, इन दिस वे आपने एक आदमी का मर्डर किया है. सो यू हैव कमिटेड अ क्राइम, वी हैव टू पनिश यू इन दिस वे. लॉर्ड सेड द हेल्पलेस मर्चेंट, बिकॉज मर्चेंट वॉज वेरी वाइज ऑल्सो, बिकॉज ही वॉज थिंकिंग टू escape from the punishment. So he said, I didn't put up the wall, मैंने तो नहीं बनाया था. It's really the fault of the man who built the wall, ये उसकी गलती है जिसने वॉल को बनाया था. He didn't build it right, you should punish him, not me. Who is that? Now the king was wishing to know the person who had built that wall. So my lord, this wall was built in my father's time. I know the man, he is an old man now, and he told that the man who had built that wall, he has become now old and he lives nearby, और वो यहीं पास में रहता. The king sent out messengers to bring in the bricklayer who had built the wall. तो जिस ने वॉल बनाया था उसको बुलाया गया, and they brought him tied, hang and food, and they had means the soldiers or the policemen, you can say soldiers I think, and they tied hand and foot of that person who had built the wall. So you there, did you build this man's wall in his फादर्स टाइम, क्या तुमने उसके फादर के टाइम में बनाया था? यस माई लॉर्ड. और उसने आंसर दिया यस. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ ए वॉल इज दिस दैट यू बिल्ट? इट हैज़ फॉलन on a poor man and killed him. And the king said that you had built a weak wall, and that's why the wall fell down on a poor person. And he didn't say it a thief, उसने उसको thief नहीं कहा, poor person, और उसको मार दिया. You have murdered him, तुमने उसको मार दिया. We have to punish you. Then the bricklayer was thinking to escape, और वो भी बचने का उपाय सोचने लगा, तरीका सोचने लगा. Before the king could order the execution means punishment, the poor bricklayer pleaded. He requested, please listen to me before you give your orders. It's true that I built this wall and it was no good, but that was because my mind was not on it, and he accepted that I was not concentrating on my work. And I remember well a dancing girl, मैं तो एक dancing girl के बारे में सोच रहा था, who was going up and down that street all day with her anklets jingling, और जो अपने anklets को jingling करते हुए, मतलब उसको ringing sound produce करते हुए she was going up and down, and I was observing her. I couldn't keep my eyes on my mind on the wall. I was building, और जब मैं बना रहा था तो मेरा कंसंट्रेशन तो उस डांसिंग गर्ल पे था. सो आई नो वेयर शी लिव्स. इन दिस वे दैट डांसिंग गर्ल इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल. एंड यू आर राइट, द केस डिपेंड्स. वी मस्ट लुक फॉर दैट गर्ल. लेट्स गेट दैट डांसर. और राजा ने क्या कहा? डांसर को बुला लो. द डांसिंग गर्ल नाउ एन ओल्ड वुमेन. नाउ अब वो बूढ़ी महिला हो गई थी. केम ट्रेम्बलिंग. ट्रेम्बलिंग मीन्स होता है कांपना, डर के मारे. शी वॉज फियरिंग, शी वॉज ट्रेम्बलिंग ड्यू टू फियर. एंड डिड यू वॉक अप एंड डाउन दैट स्ट्रीट मेनी ईयर्स एगो? तुम ही उस स्ट्रीट पे जा रही थी while this poor man was building a wall. Did you see him? Yes my lord, I remember it very well. और तब she accepted that yes, I was moving up and down. So you did walk up and down with your anklets jingling, and you were just making sound, producing sound with your anklets. So you were young and you distracted him. और तुम यंग थी, तुमने उसको डिस्ट्रैक्ट किया फ्रॉम हिज वर्क. It has fallen on a poor burglar and killed him. You have killed an innocent man. Now the king said that you have he ordered the dancing girl that you to be punished because she was responsible at that time. So she thought for a minute, and she was also clever. So she said, my lord, wait, I know now why I was walking up and down the street. I had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry for me. So he was a lazy scoundrel, and वो जो था बहुत ही lazy था, and he was not working on making my jewelry. So he made so many excuses, said he would give it now and he would give it then. और वो बार बार मुझे कह रहा था मैं आज दे दूंगा कल दे दूंगा. So I was walking up and down there to make my jewelries. So the goldsmith is responsible. He made me walk up and down, so I am not responsible. So it is the damn goldsmith's fault. और उसने goldsmith को responsible कर दिया. Poor thing, she is absolutely right. thought the king. Thought about that goldsmith, and weighing the evidence, we have got the real culprit at last. अब उसको लगा कि हम लोगों को जो real responsible person है we have got. Get the goldsmith wherever he is hiding. वो जहाँ छुपा है उसको बुला लाओ. The king bailiffs means officers. They searched for goldsmith who was hiding in a corner of his shop. When he heard the accusation then against means crime and being criminal, and he had his own story to tell. When he heard the accusation against him, and when he heard that he was being accused for that murder, then he told about his own story. My lord, he said, I am a poor goldsmith. It's true. I made this dancer come many times to my door, but I gave her excuses because I couldn't finish making her jewelry because I finished the rich merchant's orders. Then he made responsible to the rich man, and he said that I was busy to make jewelry for that rich man. They had a wedding coming and they would not wait, और वो वहाँ पे wait नहीं कर पा रहे थे. So I was busy in making the rich person's jewelry. And you know how impatient rich men are, or impatient means who is without patience. तो जिसके पास धैर्य नहीं हो, और आपको पता है कि अमीर लोगों के पास धैर्य नहीं होता है. हु इज़ दिस रिच मैन? अब राजा को लगा कि रिच मर्चेंट इज़ रिस्पॉन्सिबल. So who kept from finishing this poor woman's jewelry, made her walk up and down, which distracted this bricklayer, which made a mess of his wall. So he thought the rich merchant to be responsible, which has now fallen on an innocent man and killed him. Can you name him? अब उसने गोल्डस्मिथ से पूछा, can you name him that merchant, that rich merchant? And he was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. So it was no other person, it was the same person who was there for the first place, and before the bricklayer, because it was same rich person. So now justice had come full circle. Though the king back to the merchant, when he was rudely summoned back to the court, he arrived crying, is what not me but my father who ordered the jewelry. He is dead, I am innocent. उस रिच मर्चेंट ने क्या कहा कि योर हाइनेस, the order for the making jewelry had been given by my father and he is no more. अब वो यहाँ नहीं है इस दुनिया में. So I am not responsible. I had not given orders for making jewelry. So but the king consulted means he discussed with his ministers and ruled decisively. It is true that your father is a true murderer. He is dead, but somebody must be punished. Just see the line, somebody must be punished in his place. अब उनकी जगह पे तो किसी को पनिशमेंट देना ही है. You have inherited everything from that criminal father of yours. Means your father was criminal and you have inherited, means you have got everything from your father who was criminal. So you have to suffer, you have to be punished. So you will be punished. I knew at once, even when I first set eyes on you, that you were at the root of this horrible crime. अब राजा ने कहा तुम इस भयानक क्राइम के लिए you are responsible only. And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution. So ready means stake is just जो जिसपे फांसी दी जाती है उस चीज़ को स्टेक बोलते हैं. वुडन पोस्ट होता है ऑन विच क्रिमिनल्स आर ट्राइड फॉर बीइंग executed. So this stake is used to hang anyone, किसी को फांसी पर लटकाने के लिए till death. So it is a stake. So he just ordered to prepare stake for that rich merchant. What shall we do? He said, when suddenly it struck him at that all they needed to do was to find a man fat. Acha, okay, but the stake was not, it was because rich merchant was so thin, and and he was not able to be executed on that stake का जो वो था नॉट थी, वो बहुत ज़्यादा ढीली थी, और ही वॉज वेरी थिन, टू थिन टू बी प्रॉपरली एक्सिक्यूटेड, और उसका जो नेक था वो बहुत ज़्यादा पतला था, बिकॉज ही वॉज अ थिन पर्सन. सो ही अपील्ड टू द किंग्स कॉमन सेंस, द किंग टू वरीड अबाउट इट. अब ये सोचा जाने लगा कि रिच मर्चेंट वॉज टू वीक, टू थिन टू बी एक्सिक्यूटेड प्रॉपरली टू द ऑन द स्टेक, बिकॉज स्टेक जो था बड़ा था और उसकी जो गर्दन थी वो पतली थी. देन what shall we do, he said, when suddenly it struck him that all needed to do was to find a man fat enough to fit the stake. Now they were thinking to find a fat man who could be fit on the stake. The servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake. Means they were finding such a person who was very fat and who could be fitted for that stake. So they just saw disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas and rice and wheat and ghee. और उन लोगों ने उस डिस्पल को देखा जो खा खा के बहुत मोटा हो गया था. Then they thought that this is a right person. What have I done? And they just caught him, and he was saying, what I have done? I am innocent. I am just सन्यासी, और मैं कौन हूँ, मैं सन्यासी हूँ. ही क्राइड, बट दैट मे बी ट्रू, वो सही है, बट इट इज़ द रॉयल डिक्री मीन्स ऑर्डर दैट वी शुड फाइंड अ मैन फैट इनफ टू फिट द स्टेक. बट हमें तो एक मोटा आदमी चाहिए जो स्टेक के लिए फिट हो. सो दे सेड एंड कैरीड हिम टू द प्लेस ऑफ एक्सक्यूशन. और जहाँ पे पनिशमेंट देना था, एक्सक्यूशन देना था, they had taken the fat man, the disciple, to the place. So he remembered his wise guru's words. अब उसको अपने गुरु की याद आई कि this is a city of fools, you don't know what they will do next. और उसको याद आया, अपने गुरु के वर्ड्स को याद आया कि तुम्हें नहीं मालूम है नेक्स्ट में what will they do, वो क्या करेंगे. While he was waiting for death, he prayed to his guru in his heart. उसने अपने गुरु को याद किया. Then asking him to hear his cry wherever he was, and he requested to come and to hear his voice because wherever he was. तो उसने रिक्वेस्ट किया कि आप जहाँ कहीं हो आ जाइए मेरी मदद के लिए. The guru saw everything in a vision, और वो विजन का मतलब बिकॉज he was saint, so he saw what was going on, and he had magic powers. He could see far, उसके पास मैजिक था, वो देख सकता था क्या हो रहा है. So he arrived at once to save his disciple, and he just came to save his disciple, and who had got himself into such a scrape through love of food, because he was fond of eating much. So he was in such type of condition. So as soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in a whisper. Then the guru just he scolded, and he was whispering something into the disciple's ears, and then he went to the king and addressed, O wisest king of kings, you is greater, the guru or who is greater, the guru or the disciple. So because the guru, he had made his plan to give the punishment to the right person. So he was doing the work according his plan. So guru ने कहा, आप हमको ये बताइए, who is greater, guru or disciple? Of course guru, no doubt. Why do you ask? तुम क्यों पूछ रहे हो? Then put me to the stake first. Put my disciple to death after me. Then the guru said कि just put me on stake for the death, and after my death just put on stake to my disciple. When the disciple heard this, he understood and began to clamor, me first, You brought me here first, put me to death first. And the Guru and the disciple now got into a fight about who should go first. The king was puzzled by this behavior. He asked Guru, why do you want to die? तुम क्यों मरना चाहते हो? We chose him because we needed a fat man for the stake. So he explained the Guru, he asked the Guru why did he want to die, and because they wanted to they wanted to give punishment to the fat man because the stake was according to a fat man. So you should not ask me such questions. Put me to death first. गुरु ने कहा मुझसे क्वेश्चन मत करिए, पहले मुझे आप फांसी के फंदे पर चढ़ाइए. वाई देयर इज सम मिस्ट्री हेयर? Anything here mysterious? As a wise man, you must make me understand. Will you promise to put me to death if I tell you? Asked the Guru. Then the Guru asked, will you promise me that after explaining something you will put me to death? So the king gave him his solemn word, and he promised, means the king promised, that I will put you to death. But tell me why do you want to die? The Guru took him aside. वो उसको एक किनारे ले गया, and according to his plan, out of the servants' ears hot, and whispered to him, do you know why we want to die right now? The two of us, आपको पता है हम दोनों में से क्यों अभी मरना चाहते हैं? We have been all over the world, but we have never found a city like this or a king like you. That stake is the stake of the God of justice. और उसने कहा कि ये जो स्टेक है ये गॉड ऑफ जस्टिस है, and it's new and it has never had a criminal on it. Whoever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country. Means who will be die on this stake, that will be the king of this country in his next birth. And whoever goes next will be the future minister of this country. So जो पहले मरेगा इस स्टेक पर वो इस देश का किंग होगा, और जो नेक्स्ट में मरेगा he will be minister of this country. We are sick of our ascetic life, so we are fed up of this ascetic life. So it would be nice to enjoy ourselves as king and minister for a while. अब हम इस जो साधु के वेश में घूमते हैं, गुरु के वेश में घूमते हैं, we are just fed up and we want to enjoy king's life, minister's life for a while. So I want to die this time. Now keep your word, my lord, and put us to death. Me first, remember. And again he reminded that I told you that put me first to death. So just keep your promise and just put me death first. And after put me stake to death for dying, because I want to die this time. And after my death, just put to death to my disciple. The king was now thrown into deep thought, and he was thinking he didn't want to lose the kingdom to someone else in the next round of life. वो चाहता था कि next life में किसी को ये kingdom ना मिले, and he wanted to be the king of his kingdom in his next birth also. So he needed time. So he ordered the execution postponed. उसने execution को postpone कर दिया to the next day, and talked in secret with his minister. And he talked with his minister. It is not right for us to give over the kingdom to others in the next life. Means it is not correct that we should give our kingdom to anyone else in his next life. Let's go on the stake ourselves and we will be reborn as king and minister again. और उसने सजेशन दिया कि जैसा कि गुरु ने बताया था, whatever the guru had told, that just let's die first, and after me you will die, and in this way we will be reborn as king and minister. Holy men do not tell lies, he said. Holy men means guru. So guru will not tell lies, he said, and the minister agreed. So he told the executioners, we will send the criminals tonight. And he said to the executioners that we will send the criminals tonight, आज रात को हम criminals को भेजेंगे for the execution. And when the first man comes to you, put him to death first. Or who will be the first comer to the stake, just put him to death first, and then do the same to the second man. Those are my orders. Don't make any mistake. And he ordered not to make mistake, means he ordered that who will be the first person to come to you for execution tonight, just put him to death, and after that who will be the second comer, just put him to the second place to death. And that night the king and his minister went secretly to the prison. And secretly the king and his minister, they went to the prison, released the guru and disciple, disguised themselves. Disguise means होता है वेश बदलना. And they just changed their own looking. And then as the two and as arranged beforehand with loyal servants, were taken to the stake and promptly executed. Because he ordered his executioners that who will be to you first and who will be to second, you will have to just put him to death on stake. So it were only king and his minister. So in this way all the people of that kingdom, they got rid of that type of foolish persons. And when they died, means the king and his minister, because they had gone to the prison and they had gone to the executioners in the night themselves. So according to the orders, the executioner just made them to put to death on stake. So when the bodies were taken down to be thrown to crows and vultures, the people panicked. They saw before them the dead bodies of the king and minister, and they saw that the dead bodies were of the king and the minister. The city was in confusion. The city was confused. All right, they mourned. Mourned means they wept, and wept means expressing grief, and discussed the future of the kingdom. Some people suddenly thought of the guru and the disciple and caught with them as they were preparing to leave town unnoticed. So because the guru and the disciple, they wanted to leave that town, we people need a king and a minister. So all the people, they said that we need a king and minister, someone. So others agreed, and they begged the guru and the disciple to be their king and their minister. It didn't take many arguments to persuade the disciple, and it took longer to persuade the guru. And they finally agreed, because the guru was not agreeing to their decision, but finally he agreed, and he agreed to rule the kingdom of the foolish king and the silly minister, and on the condition that they could change all the old laws. So Guru accepted people's demand that he will rule as king, but he placed one condition, that I will change the old rules, and people were agreed. So from then on, night would again be night and day would again be day, and you could get nothing for a doo-doo. It became like any other place. So it was like other places were there, means in other towns also. So the activities, the things, they were normal as like other towns. So this is a story how people, they got rid of the foolish persons like that king and also his minister in this way, and they were very happy. And finally the guru became the king of that city town, and his disciple became the minister. So this is all about this story. Okay, Jai Hind. Then complete question answers of this story. Jai Hind, students. हुआ कि नहीं हुआ, इतना मेहनत किए हम।